this video, we're going to work with the terrains inside the view. We actually will take normal high-field terrain and work with advanced functionality to creating more realistic look. First, let's create our terrain. For this, on our left toolbar, we'll find the terrain. Right-click on expanded menu, we'll select high-field terrain. Let's reposition a little bit. In our top right, where we have it motion, or we have it the size, we're going down to the size, click just to verify, and you can see our terrain is 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer and 116 meters tall. Just to keep it in mind with the standards we're working. Sometimes if you want to have it more trees and other things kind of close up, we maybe want to decrease that resolution, but keep in mind this is a 1 kilometer terrain, which is quite a bit large size. Next, we're going to use it image maps. And if you're interested in those maps, high-field maps that I'm using, I will provide a link down below for you or in descriptions so you can download it and experiment by yourself. Let's go ahead and modify, prepare for the high-field images. First, if you look right here, we have it select our terrain. Let's double-time click, and this will open our terrain editor. In terrain editor, I need to increase resolution. The image what we're going to use it's a 4068, somewhere around this, well, let's say 4000 by 4000 pixels. So it's meaning I want my terrain match for the best resolution. I don't want to have it higher, and if I have it lower, some of those details in the image may be lost. So for this, I'm going with the C cube with a plus and click once, it's 512. We can click one more time, 124, one more time, and one more time. This is quite a bit high resolution, but if you take size of the terrain and divide by 1000, this is about per meter, about 4 points per meter. So it is not that high detailed if you look on the scales. Okay, we have our terrain ready. So let's go load map. For this, we're going down and right on the left side where it says pictures, let's open. This is where we're going to import our data. We can import data as star file, which is also will have it height, but we're going just simple black and white or gradients of the gray, upload this file. So let's go ahead, click on a button where it says load. This is will open the browser. This is native browser to the Vue. If you want in options and you select, for example, use its system file, then you will have a little bit different look. But in this one, we're going and click on the folder right here in the top, like right corner, to browse to our directory. So inside the directory, you can see we have it 5 different files. Those files is a high-field map and distribution map, was generated in World Machine. You can use it any other applications, or you can even draw by hand. We're going to select the first, which says high-field. Let's click OK, and notice that file was in a TFF format. I will highly recommend not to use a JPEG, do the compressions, and then you will see also pixelization or dots on your terrain. As we're loading, we want to be sure our pictures 100%. On this 100%, we want to set in a blend, and you can see it's already have a very beautiful look. Let's go ahead, click OK, and click OK one more time. So notice we have a very beautiful look. Let's take our camera, move slightly up, and position a little bit lower. There's in the preview, you can see we have a high resolution terrain. You remember those maps, what I said, distribution maps? Let's see how we can use them. And for this, we'll actually utilize material editor. So we'll select our terrain, double time click on material to open our material editor. And first layer, it will be our base layer. By default, it's look kind of nice grayish, but I want to create a little bit more brown like a earth. For this, I will go in a color, natural grain, and I will just select first color. And usually first color, it will be a little bit lighter. And a second color will be a little bit darker. You can play with a different coloring as well. Also use color 2. I will want to enable this checkbox. Notice on schematic we have it a lighter and a darker spot. By utilizing with distortion and balance, you can play around with distributions of, for example, more one layer on another. That's distortions, and as same we can add a little bit more roughness to this. You can see right here we have it kind of very nice. Again, this is just the base, and we're going to start cover stuff over this. Okay, we'll leave everything here, and we'll go and add a new layer. So as create new layer, let's go call grass maybe. We always can rename later if we need it. And for this, I'm also going to click once and twice in visibility. This will enable highlighter. Notice right now our terrain, it's turned to this bright kind of purplish pinkish color. And this is so we can very easily see how our distributions will happen around here. So distribution of this, we will need to utilize our alpha map, or we can also utilize transparency. I would recommend utilize alpha map because it will be more cut in. Transparency, it's nice if you decide to use it as layer of the water example there, or some other element. So we have more flexibility. Transparency will allow you to define the refraction index, thickness, and as well absorption depth and all other elements. So it's more to true transparency than alpha. It's just simple cut areas with the gradients where we need to do. So right here you can see we have one, but it's all black and procedurals. Let's switch from procedurals to mapped picture. As we switch, we have our open bitmap selections. For this, same things. We'll go click to select one. So let's see what we have. And you notice we have multiple ones. We also have it where we have it first origin image, flow, deposit. So let's go select the flow first. Click OK. And as we're selecting, you can see it's all does not look right. The reason is because we have a mapping mode set to world standard. World standard take resolution and positioning of our world. Even if we utilize infinity terrain, that is still have its center point of this terrain, and this is mapped to this. What we want to do is set actually to object parametric. This will take the image and scale precisely to the shape of our object. Doesn't matter what this can be, terrain or other things. As we change, you can see right here, it's already applied. If you want to inverse, you can always click an inverse, depending which one you want to do. But in my case, actually, I want to leave it right there because this will be my layer for the grass that I want to do. So I will put it like this. In this case, highlighter, it does help us to identify areas where that distribution will go. Also, if you notice on the top, it's give it a little bit pinkish color, which maybe I don't want to have it on the top some of this grass. For this, we can go inside the presence and altitude range, be sure we set by the object. We can also take and decrease slightly. And as we're decreasing, you can see right here, it's kind of clearing off top. As well, let's go on the top and add a little bit fuzziness because I don't necessarily like this hard line. So this way, it's just kind of smoothing. It just helps us to create this little bit more top opening rocks. Again, you can play around with this, and this is total to your creativity point. Also, other things you maybe try to work with a slope. So let me show you example. We can say we don't want like on a steep, so we can go down, decrease, and you can see right here steepness on the top is a little bit decreasing, but on the bottom where we have it flat, it's hardly touch. So we can do as well like this. Let's add a little bit more soften around here. And this is another ways we can cut a little bit from the top, make a little bit look nicer. Also right here on the flat, Let's remove flat, so just only on the top, a little bit softer, because I don't necessarily want to have grass on those walls here. After when you're done with positioning, you can click one more time and disable our highlighter. Also, on the left side, you'll notice we have this exclamation mark in the blue with a parametric. This is just says this material not currently represent, because I'm not enabled to auto generate yet. I'll just click and it will regenerate for you. Of course, you can always go and modify these properties for the preview window. Okay, next, when we're done positioning and we preview, we want to change colors. We apply same things. We'll go inside the colors, and instead procedural colors, we're going to select again natural grain. From natural grain, we can go and select colors. But you know what? Let's make it a little bit complex, as we said before. So for this, we'll go back to procedural colors, as only with exceptions, we're going to use it some functions. Let's double tap click on our parametric on a function in this globe. That it will be opening collections of different type functions. If we go on a basic, we can select one terrain fractal. So it will create kind of interesting distribution, and it's utilizing this color map that we have it below. So I'm going to color map, right click, and it says edit color map. So here we have a different coloring we can change by selecting dot current color, and in current color we can also go in and modify now. For example, add green like one grass. We can go in the middle, new key right there, add maybe a little bit something brighter. Go on next, new key color, add again something a little bit. So you can play with different, you can see how we're mixing together. By mixing those different colors, this is giving us very interesting like forest ground, and I recommend to do this because it will create more natural look for our texture. Even we'll put it ecosystem in the end, but we want to do this way, so it will utilize hiding under trees. Many times when you put ecosystem, it does not look real, probably because your ground coloring and everything is not yet ready, not prepared properly. Okay, and we'll select our last white color. We'll just go and add a different coloring as we're going. I think maybe this one will work, but I don't like this lighter one. Yes, so we'll select back our light point. We'll go a little bit down and a little bit more to the reddish color. There you go. I think this is look good. Okay, again, experiment, play around, see how it's work for you or not. I don't want to add any bump map to this. We'll do this later when we come closer. Okay, I think we have two nice layers. So we have a few more to add. Let's go create new layer. And this one, let's go name deposits. Maybe, yeah, let's go deposits. That's what we're going to do. So we'll have a deposit. By default, it's set to object parametric. It's what we want to use it as a map. Again, we'll go alpha, switch the map at image. Again, open, and we'll find our deposit map. Click OK. And it's again, it's hard to see. Yes, now you understand why I like to use it highlighters, because with them it's much easier to see. So right here you can see where the distribution happen. And I want deposit on top. I don't want deposit over my grass. So for this, I'm going to click to inverse. And you can see where the deposits happening. So those deposits, let's say it's where grass maybe does not grow. So I want to have it a little bit grayish color. So for this, we're going to disable our highlighter now. We're going to the color. And we did use the parametric before. Let's go back to natural grain. And we're going to select maybe something, one of the bluish kind of, and one is actually darker reddish. So we'll create a quite a bit grain mix here. Then we'll add roughness, distortions, grainy, so kind of like almost mix. And you can see right here, it's working. Okay, we can disable visibility before and now. You can see you just add a little bit more to this. But because it's kind of cover over, yes, I want to go to present and I want to take it this and just reduce slightly so the top will be open a little bit more, almost like it is eating. Okay, let's go enable highlighter one more time. Right there, see like those, how cool they are, look. So right there. And this area, it's where will be my color. So I have one color, another. So we'll start layering those beautiful colors. Okay, let's go create another one. I know it's take a lot of, but as we nested, we're adding those layers that will create a very, very good look to our terrains. So on this case, let's go name this where. And where will usually go below, yes. So we'll do this. Again, I want to be object parametric. And we'll go switch alpha to mapped picture. Again, we'll open now. And right here we have it one where. Let's open this. Enable highlighter. Okay. And on this one again, it's, you know, let's inverse see. Yep, right a little bit lower. And here a little bit lower, I want to add a little bit more grenishy kind of. Maybe, you know, it's as wearing. Maybe yellow. Now let's go with yellow. So yeah, we're going to change color on this. So right here, we're going to, let's preload function, and we'll do just grainy. We just use total different, yes, for this one. So we'll use that color and color map, right click, and you can select, or you can just double time click, then you will open already pre-made collections for you. So we can do it that way. And right here, you can see we have a nice, beautiful collections. I don't know, maybe it's 2. Let's see what else we have right here. So we have it green, purple, yellow, green. We have it yellow, brown. Actually, let's look on yellow, brown. I think yellow, brown maybe work a little bit better this way. If the layer have too much impact and you want to reduce a little bit, you also have it options for the alpha boost. Notice if I take alpha boost all the way to down, and it disappear. So by using this, I can say what opacity of this current layer can apply it. So if it's too much coloring, I can take my alpha boost and reducing. That just make less impact on this layer. But I think this way is look very nice. So we already have it. 1, 2, 3. So let's go ahead and add another ones. Another one's what I want to do. So we have it flow. We have it our deposit. And we have it just one more where we're going to add some rocks to this. But here's how we're going to add rocks. We can use it through bump map, but we did not use it ecosystem for this. So let's try to do this. We'll go create a new layer. Okay, and this new layer, let's go call rocks. Yes. We want object parametric, and we want switch to ecosystem. Notice we switch to ecosystem population. We still can have it a different coloring. And you know, if you don't like this color, right click and select one maybe brighter that come up very good. Okay, next we want to go in a density. In a density right here where we have variable density, let's click and enable variable density. So next, we want to be sure it's object parametric. We'll right click and edit functions. So as we edit functions now, we kind of need to work with our density of population this. For this one, we'll need to add another node. And node is really like editing texture maps. And it's projected map. So let's drag and drop. Right here we have one. We can open this. Navigate to our image, which one we want to use it. Okay, and we'll just use it color for this, and then we'll take from color output. Actually, you know what, let's go from gray output because we want it, and we'll connect to the density. So notice what's happened right here as I'm connecting. You see how it's start appearing in other areas. So this is where the distribution will happen. Let's go ahead, click OK. Now we need to place it some elements there. Yes, I'm going to disable, click on General, and now we'll go Add, and let's go to Add Rocks. We have all these different type of rocks. Because we're going from far away, I want to use low resolution. I'm going to select this rock. So it will take a little bit to load this in the memory, this rock. Okay, and next we can just go ahead and click Populate. Depend how big of this map or other things, it may take a long time to populate. On 1 kilometer, it is take quite a bit of the resources, so be sure you're very careful on that. And you can see right here how it's populated. So it's creating kind of very interesting population for us. Sometimes the rocks a little bit hard to see, so for this I'll take my main camera, because 1 kilometer, and I'm just going very close up. Okay, I'm just going close up to our rocks to see what's going on here. And you can see the rocks, they're just sitting on the top, so they don't look realistic, they don't look good or anything. So to fix this, let's go back to our terrain, our rocks. We'll go to our density, so this is how much density we'll have it. And one thing what we want to modify, it's offset from surface. So right now they're on top. What we want to do, it's going and says minus, because we're going to put them in the ground. Yes, point, let's go 0.5 meter. So if we do this way, let's go populate. So it's a 50 centimeters, put it down. If rock very small, they will be disappearing underground. And this is what we want to test right now to see. You see how some rocks is disappearing, but some is actually look good. So I think about 50 centimeters will give it us better on the rocks. And we don't necessarily want too many of those rocks. Yes, so then we need to take our density and reduce the density of the rock. As well, we want kind of modify. Let's go click clumping, so it's meaning put them together. We'll increase count of the clumping, okay, like around here, and we'll go click populate. So what's happening, you will have one rock, and you have a bunch of teeny tiny rocks or other rocks kind of grouped together. It's kind of look very more natural. And here we have our rocks distributed. Okay, let's go click OK on this. Click main camera, move away, move a little bit out, position our camera. And you can see this is look a little bit more nice in a way, as the rocks going and everything. Okay. Now, this is won't be real advanced if we don't enhance our terrain even more, because right now we just work very simple with a materials and create from image. The problem is, let's go very close to our terrain. And if you're doing for animations or any other things, and you come closer, you can see we don't have that resolution. Look on this. It's look kind of now flat, does not look real at all, does not have this grainy or other things. So let's go ahead inside our terrain. And by the way, your machine may be set on after backup, but when you work, I always recommend to go ahead and click save your work as you're doing. And after you save your work, we're ready to continue. Well, let's fix our terrain. I select my terrain and I just double time click to open again terrain inside the terrain editor. This terrain is image based, but we also have an option to use a graph. If we click on a graph, you'll notice right here we have our image. Let's click on this two icon, edit altitude graph, or you can just also right click and select edit functions. Either way will work and bring us to this node editor terrain. And our editor, we can let's reposition our nodes so we know how and where they're located. And what we see, we have our multiplier, and notice we have our actually permanent noise. We have our original noise still be there. And the texture we preloaded. Only this blender, what we have, it's 100% towards our image. Of course, we cannot mix. So what we want to do, we want to switch this to our blender. So let's go inside Blender and just switch to another side. As we're moving, you'll notice, whoa, right here, see how our terrain is changed? It's changed quite a bit. And let me reposition my screen so we can kind of watch both of them, yes? So we can modify. And nice things about this, if you work and you have like multiple screens, that work very well with multiple screens. Then you can put a terrain on one and another ones. Okay. I hope you can see it. It will be a little bit smaller, so I will increase some size to show you details, but we want to capture everything here. Well, this is our simple terrain, and this is nice, but it's in a fractal, but does not create a little bit details that I want to do. We can modify by using different noise. So let's look what we have. Stellar noise, we have it crystals. So we actually can create as a crystal look. Okay, we have it as these different type flat lines, distributed plan. It does not work. Usually the Perlin noise work very well, and value garden, that one kind of look very good in multiple ways. So next we want to reduce the larger details, because I don't want to change shape. I want to add some teeny tiny like rocks to this. Yes. So what we're going to do is take largest features and reduce them. So it's make smaller. You can see how the big hills, it just makes smaller. Next, let's increase the roughness a little bit. It will make sharper, much sharper images. And we'll also reduce this again. So this is just created this kind of greediness kind of. We of course can modify a little bit more. Also, you can play with the wavelengths, set for example to 1 on all resolutions. Our goal is just make as teeny tiny those waves, teeny tiny, because they will represent rocks. And you can see right here, it's what we have. We have this kind of grainy things. So our next goal is use properly Blender to blend them together. So let's go ahead and switch from blend to add. So it's meaning we add to one, we add another one. Next, we're going to move towards our first look. And as we're going, you can see we kind of start adding to our original. So this is our first. You remember the image, and now we have it quite a bit grainy. So maybe it won't work very well this way. You can always change by maximum, so it will take maximum points and will increase like in lower areas. You can see right here where the green is going, like on a flat area where it was smaller. But in this case, it does not work because our hill does not have this. It's maybe work okay if we try to simulate faraway bushes or other things. So I think the add work the best. The only with add problem is now when I create this, it's too rough, too much. Yes. So let's go ahead and take and decrease our roughness, actually scale down a little bit. So we can go down and we can take our gain, take slightly down all of this. See, in a point where we start seeing those ridges, this is what I want to do. I want to reduce them. So when I see the shape, and just leave it around there, because if we look right here, we can see the greediness. We can steal those points that we have it from, but we also still have those beautiful shapes that originally we created. So let's go just reduce a little bit more here. Okay, and you can see, look on this, see how the rocks teeny tiny pop out. It's what we wanted. Well, if you think that is done, it's not yet. because I want actually, it's rocks change little bit shapes. Yes, let's utilize this as well. So I'm going to right click on the editor, and we're going output and select custom dependency. So when I select custom dependency, you can see right here we have our name. So I'm just click on a name and type rocks, kind of name for this node rocks. Next, from our area where we have it, I'll take roughened area and connect. So from our fractal, what we're using, we take roughness and we connect to the rocks. So we output just the roughness elements where they will happen. Let's go click OK. And in this case, we'll go click OK again. So it does add a little bit to our terrain if we look around. Some smoothness we can rework, but you can see shape does change, because like right here, our rock is floating now. Because we did effect with those. We can reduce even smaller if we're going in our terrain, for example. If you'd say, you know what, I want a little bit more smaller, we can go down here, our simple, and put it maybe 0.1. To make that noise even smaller. So we can manipulate, we can edit, we can even try to create a total different noise. So now you can see preview right here where it's created. It's creating a little bit smaller. See how those now pop up, smaller effect. So you can do different, and that's nice way, because this is procedurals. Now we take image and modifying with procedural terrain. That work very well if you base it your terrain on some real world terrain. And the problem is sometimes the resolution is very low. By doing this, you can increase resolution, make it look a little bit better. Well, because we changed, let's go back to our view here, and we'll go populate again. So our rocks is distributed properly because we changed the shape of our terrain. Ooh, look how ugly it is. I did not realize this. We need to fix this, yes. So I think I have it. I went too berserk with the graininess on this. Yeah, so let's go to edit our function. We'll go back here, simple, our simple terrain, and we'll just get gain way down and roughness, way down roughness. So we don't need to like, I like how small they are. I like what's happened there, but I don't want like this crazy roughness. So let's go see. That should update it now a little bit better. Okay, here, and let's populate one more time. Well, it's look a little bit better. Let's click OK, take our main camera and zoom out. Again, if I work on a close-up, I'll probably use procedural terrain in some cases, but for what I want to do from far away, I think this is look a little bit better. Look how grainy it's look. It's look like it's a rocks covering. And it's probably from this point I'm going to use, like right here. See, it's add kind of graininess, and now rocks almost work together with this. We could modify this. You know, I'm still thinking about this, because I think this maybe graininess is a little bit too much on this area, so we can modify this, but that will come back when we start putting plants, because when grain like this on the ground and you put it plants, they actually blend very well together. But let's go select our terrain. We'll double click here, and let's create a new layer. So this new layer I'll call roughness, yes, and we'll go enable highlighter for this. Next, what we want to do is click on alpha, and we'll just go ahead and edit function. As edit functions, you'll notice we have our alpha connecting our color. So instead, what I want to do, I right click, input, and I want to select external dependency. As external dependency, I want to see what it is. So I'm going down, terrain 2, and remember we create the rocks. Select this one. So now we have the rocks out. Let's select them to alpha and see what's happening. Notice somewhere it does not cover with the roughness. It does not going to some of those areas. Now I want inverse this. So what I want to do, we'll want to take this alpha and inverse. For this, let's go to the filters, and they have it opposite. So I'm going to drag opposite and connect like this. Well, the roughness is too narrow if we look on this, so it maybe does not work. Let's see what else we can do. Instead roughness, let's go select our terrain. We'll go right click, edit functions. And because I think I set the roughness too low, it won't be there. So maybe instead roughness, let's go ahead. We'll select, instead going to altitude. Let's click OK. Click OK here. I reduced a little bit roughness again, so I think it was a little bit too much greenness. And that's what happened. You just play around with this. Okay, next we'll go to edit function. And here we have it, one of the altitude, and we can always just change and you can play around, see which work. Notice an altitude, some areas is darker, it's work a little bit better, but usually this one will work. We also could just modify this external and work just separate with the colors. So for example, right here you can see we have a different color, and we can just play like this, put it on the filters and work other ways. But I think this will, oops, I don't want this, I want to create this way. Let's go click OK, disable our highlighter. Okay, next what I want to do is change to the color. I want to change my color to natural grain. Now let's select something a little bit more fun, like a brownish. Here, darker, a little bit more there. Two colors, distortion, roughness. We'll just add some cool to this. Okay, and next I'm taking my alpha and I'm decreasing, because I want just a little bit applied, but not too much in this area. There you go. So you can see how we add all these different effects. So next what I want to do, it's now let's add plants. And for this, I want to use a different distribution system. So let's say where the rocks, I want to put it bushes, like, you know, not necessarily pine trees or other things. Or maybe, yeah, let's opposite. Let's go put pine trees there because it's a lower. And on other area where we have it a little bit more cover like a grass, we're going to put it kind of bush, or maybe with a deposit. Let me see. So this is our deposit. Right here, see where's the deposit going. Okay. And this is our where going right here. So we can put it bushes closer to the where, kind of, and we can put it this area, we can put it like pine trees maybe, yes. So let's go do this way. So for this, we're going inside the grass, and with the alpha right here, I want to right click, and we can copy this, but it's what we're going to use that image as distribution. Let's go to our rock, right click and copy this function. Okay, next go above, click new layer, and let's go call it bush. So we'll go click this one. We'll also convert this to the ecosystem now. Variable, right click and paste functions. And now we have it, functions is directly here. So also till it's going this way, we can enable, and we can just preview with a little bit brighter, definitely brighter color. We can preview where's this going. Okay, 1, okay. So it's going right around those areas. It's where we're going to put it. Let's put it plants there. I'm still kind of, you know, going back and forth what to put it, but I think distribution of the pine trees will be very good in this area. So let's go right here, add plant And hopefully you install the plant catalog, because it's come with a huge variety of cool plants. Configures, we go to this way, and let's see which one we want. We want to select a different, I want a low resolution one. So I'll go click on this tree, and maybe, you know, let's go click on low resolution this tree. There you go. We need to hold the Control or Option key to select it, yes. And let's go just select maybe this low. I think that's all, it's enough. Okay, when we open, it's also sub-variant. So we have one species select, and now this is variations of the species. So this is relatively to the person. And I'm going to select this. I want to select also different coloring on this. Let's go down, and maybe, you know, something like this. So just 3 variations. The problem is when you select more, it will take a little bit time to preload in your memory. So I'm going a little bit cheating here. I'm going to pause this video till preloading happening and resuming as is done. Okay, when preloading one, remember we select another ones. So from here, let's go select one. We'll select just, I like to select like different types. Maybe this. Okay, there you go. My problem is sometimes they look so cool, those plants, so different. I'm just putting so many of them. I need to know when to stop. Okay, so we repeated unnecessary operation, and you can see right here we have it nice set already. So we can also add distribution, how it's work with the underlying layer, but because it's main layer, we don't need to do this with the ecosystem. So we'll just leave it right here, and let's go ahead. Our density is set. We'll click populate. I don't think it will populate as much because we have a very sprout kind of population. But you can see right there we have a nice distribution of those plants. I think it's look very cool with those plants. So let's right now going and add the more like or sides. You remember when I says the bushes, we kind of need to add another elements, because the problem is that when you add the plants, they won't look real when you have just one type. So you want to mix with them, and you want to mix with different ones. And again, if you don't remember, you always can go and enable highlights to see where it's going. And I think this one, let me check this one. So I think around this area, it's where I want to put it, some kind of like bushes around there. So it is where map. Well, let's go ahead, create a new layer. Okay. We'll go again, switch this to the ecosystem and particles. And before I do this, enable edit functions. I'm just repeating same things what we done before. Right click. We'll go texture map, project map. We'll go to grayscale output to the density. And now let's preload it. Remember, we already have some. So let's see. We don't have here. Yep, I need to actually install probably my own library, so it will be much faster. But we're going there. We'll click on Aware. Select the Aware materials. Okay, let's go ahead. Click OK for now. And what I want to do here, I want to enable my highlighter. Be sure we just in the right places. Okay, it seems like right place. Okay, next we go to select general, add plants, and now I want to actually go with bushes. We can select different ones. Let's go see what we can select here. And that is a big problem, because I love so much plants here with a plant factory. Okay, I'm going to just remember Control Alt, just select a few of them. There you go. So we'll add some of these plants. Again, here's our variations. Okay, let's go add those variations. Okay, go select another one, maybe this one. So we're going to repeat this for other ones as well. Well, I also recommend if you select some like looking bad ones, because they do introduce kind of nice mixture between different plants. Well, after it's done loading, we're ready to populate. So let's go ahead and click populate. Depend on how long it will take it, but we can see it should actually cover quite a bit right here. Notice it's covered all the way, and it's because some of the density of the materials. If even we cannot see it, but materials still kind of distribute there due to the alpha map, kind of not very visible sometimes. So what we want to do, it is readjust this map. So in this case, we will work with presence as well. First, I don't necessarily want to put this on top. I don't mind, but I think it's too high. So I'm going to take altitude and decreasing. Remember, we can always go and put it our highlighter. So we'll see, and you can see it's kind of going all over the place almost. So right there, actually, you know what? I have it some suspicious. So let's go on a dense here, right click, edit function. And inside here, function, mapping mode. And actually it's set to the flat, maybe. It's a little bit readjusting this. And I don't want once, I don't want to repeat it. Okay, and I think it'd still be object parametric. It just was kind of a little bit, you know, maybe, I maybe wrong map. I think I loaded wrong map, okay? I think I want kind of like this one loaded. No, it's right. It's a right map. It just look a little bit weird to me. Kind of a little bit too much of distribution. But we'll just look right there. It's automatic. So we'll set that properly everything. I just want to be sure. Positioning object parametric, like just in case, you know what I mean? Okay, so it looks same. Then we'll go in a presence and start modifying. So we'll do one on the top. We'll go right here, like this. And also I want a little bit more on a flat. So we'll go change a little bit like this. So this way we shouldn't have it like going on a steep one, maybe even less. Something like right there. I think that will be better. Okay, now we're ready to go to populate again. This look interesting, but I think it's too much. So let's try this. Let's go our density. We reduce density. We increase clumping and pop up quite a bit on a clumping up. And let's go to presence right there and just, you know, make even more on the flat ones. Okay, let's go ahead right now. Should reduce quite a bit of the plants around there. Yeah, there you go. That is a little bit better. Maybe I gone too overboard to another side. Let's go pop up our density just slightly back in. Repopulate. Okay, that's a little bit better. See, we start having those plants going kind of around this area. Okay, pop up a little bit more. Because I won't see those, you know, where kind of going. I don't want them covered, but I want a little bit more small plants. I think, yeah, that way is look better. See, like those teeny tiny now bushes in the areas. I think, yeah, that will look way better. Okay, at this time, I think this is cool. And this one is, actually, this is bushes, and another one was trees. Yes, trees. So that's named a little bit better that way. Okay, I think we're good. So we modified a lot of stuff here. Let's play a little bit with atmosphere settings. And I think we'll be almost ready to call it done. Usually I like sun a little bit on the side because you can see it's creating these beautiful shadows. So it's create these dimensions, nice effect. I'll just, for the example of this video, I'm just going to kind of out here and, you know, maybe even like this, so we can preview this terrain from far away. There you go. You can see how the terrain look. And it's very cool if you create this from far away distance. And of course we can come like a little bit closer. Preset so we can see beautiful plants, everything. Let's go now like around there. Okay, I did not modify, of course, the backdrop and other things. We can just easy going and select something on a background, create enough mountains. But I think for this modification on the terrains, how we're working, it's a little bit nicer. Let's go to atmosphere editor. And atmosphere editor, I want to modify a few things. One, I'll let you know it's working photometric spectral, so it is a little bit more realistic atmosphere. If you want to go for more saturations and more like illustrations, I would recommend switch to standard spectral. So let's say if I switch, you can see how much it's more solid, kind of bold colors will done. Also, let's open my camera and disable this after exposure. This is messing up all the time, so we don't want that. So you can see sunshine more this way. So let's go back to photometrical. So we'll just go back to what it was before. Okay, now I want to add distance, and best way to add distance by the haze, by desaturation, reduce of the contrast, and reducing of details. So this is way we can go sky fog, take aerial perspective, pop this maybe to about 2, 3, somewhere around there as a test, and you can see how much it's add this haze, maybe a little bit too much, so you can play with this around. I'll maybe drop down, we'll see how much we'll go. I think like around haze, maybe 0.9. I think this will add better look. As well, we can go on a ground haze and a fog, creating in this area, you know, maybe even too small. Let's go reduce there, pop up quality, at least to 1, quality at least to 1, fog, and a little bit haze. That's a little bit on the distance, just to create a nice line on the distance here. I think it's still be a little bit too much, yeah. I'm surprised how much it's affecting. Usually it's not as much. Oh, there you go. Because what I want to do, I want to create the close-up, a little bit more saturation kind of color. And as we're going far away, it's a more desaturated. So it's giving us this beautiful distance look there. And I think it's what we're achieving right now. I think this detalization is going very good. Okay, I think this is nice. We could pop up just a little bit in yellowish, just a little bit on a sunset decay. So if we add a little bit more decay down below, a little bit reddish, warmish color. This way, we can also go and add clouds and atmospheres to there, but not right now. I think for the render, that should work just fine. Let's click OK. And we can take our camera, and you know what I want to do? I'll just duplicate camera. So copy, paste. Look, we have 2 cameras. On this case, I will leave it this as is, and I'll have it my main camera, and then I can move it. So now I have 2 cameras. I can go and set my position on different angles and preview from different lighting angle. From here, for example. And you can see from this angle, from sun, is look quite a bit different, yes. So we go there, and we'll readjusting like this. So that look very interesting. And let's create another camera. Yes. And we still select our main camera because this is our other one. And this camera, I actually want to go and take very close up to the ground. I want right there. I want to see how it will look when we're closer to the ground and look. And you remember I told you about ground and rocks. We can play a little bit more with the rocks. We can add moss to the rocks. We can add details. But look how ground look. It's look a little bit more, it's look natural. And that is what we want to try to do. You know, create somewhat realistic kind of look to our terrain. There you go. I'll just zoom a little bit even more out because I want to see this ground right under the trees. And there we have it. Nice, beautiful look. Well, the next things, let's go just to render. So I'm going to render maybe different camera views. We'll start with this. We'll go right click, we'll render, final, at least. Turn on, we render to the screen. And we'll just go HD resolution. Again, because I don't have clouds, it should be rendered quite a bit fast. Let's go click OK and click render. So we'll see how long it will take. And just let you know, if you're not familiar with Vue, you'll have it two passes. First is a pre-pass, is calculating all these additional parameters, and it's look like black. So that is a normal, don't panic. So you can see it's ambient lighting, it's calculating all this stuff. And when the first pre-pass done, then it start rendering with second pass. And in that way, it will look much more realistic. Here we have it, our render is completed. And let's preview. So definitely I need to rework a little bit more on the background. If you look right here, it's a grid. It's too greedy, but I want just showing you example what's happened when you combine texture with fractals. Of course, that fractals can be dreaming or parent overlay, like for example alpha map with another distributions. And maybe I'll do this later just to apply rocks in another areas, which is kind of blend very well. But also on the ground, you can see how well it does. Rocks could be applied better textures and more details if we're going close up. But this terrain wasn't designed for close up like this. I designed this just to test. This terrain originally in my mind was to set more like in this angle, like this camera, or set maybe to the different side of the camera, like on a side. Okay, did I set, oh, look on this, I have the same camera. Well, it's okay, we can just take this camera, move right here, and more like this. You know, I was thinking more create from this distance about. That is what kind of design. And so, and you can see from this point of view, it's look very nice mountain. Well, thank you for watching this video. I appreciate your time and your effort. Please let me know what videos you want to see in the future and what you think is most challenge inside the Vue. Remember, Vue Plan Factory and Plan Catalog is free forever right now. I will put link down below for you to download it, try it, install it. I mean, I'm still surprised. This tool that you can create stunning movies and everything, it's free. That is real surprise. Well, thanks for watching and have a